Hello, my name is Dawn Humphrey, and I'd like to welcome you to the Oral Presentation Project for English 114. Let me ask you, do you know what's the #1 fear of people worldwide? What is it that you dread the most? I bet your answer is speaking in front of a crowd. People fear public speaking more than anything else. Anxiety over a simple presentation can be debilitating. Why, it's even been the source of jokes by Jerry Seinfeld. According to most studies, people's #1 fear is public speaking. #2 is death. Death is #2. Does that sound right? This means to the average person, if you go to a funeral, you're better off in the casket than doing the eulogy. So today we're going to identify exactly what causes the fear of public speaking, then we'll discuss ways to conquer your fear, and finally we'll talk about putting your skills into action. So just what is this phobia that causes your heart to race, your palms to get sweaty, to basically paralyze you when you're faced with speaking in front of a crowd? The medical term is glossophobia, which is derived from the Greek words glossa, meaning tongue, and phobos, which is defined as a fear or dread. If speaking in public scares you, you aren't alone, says Dr. Paul Witt of Texas Christian University. Witt claims the idea of making a presentation in public is the #1 fear reported by people in the United States. Anytime people make verbal remarks that need to be clear and persuasive, we find widespread reports of stage fright and nervousness, Witt says on WebMD. Understanding the general causes of fear and speaking in public and relating your feelings of those to others will help you feel less isolated. It's a survival mechanism. It's the fight or flight response that generates the adrenaline, which results in the rapid heartbeat, the sweat, the weak knees, even the nausea. The fear may begin early in your career, and it may simply recur whenever you find yourself in a situation where you have to speak in public. The neural pathway, for a lack of a better term, is burned into your brain. Your fear may relate to some insecurity, either in general or with respect to a specific subject or circumstance. There's something that makes some of us feel like all eyes are on you. Your secret fears and your insecurities are revealed, and we're just emotionally naked. In some cases, you may actually have doubts about your ability or your knowledge of the material, which is certainly a rational cause for concern. So how do we conquer this fear? As big and bad as this fear is, it really only takes a small amount of time, understanding, and practice to conquer it. You see, fear is a natural response to a wide variety of stimuli. It's an ancient survival mechanism. It's how you interpret it, however, that counts. So reframe your fear. Admit that you have a problem. Seek to understand it, and have faith that you will eventually conquer it. You know, isolation is a big part of this fear. So talk about it with your friends, your family, your business partners. Then be brave and determined, because you can conquer this, and you will. Reframe every negative thought and turn them into positive. Emory University psychology professor Dr. Gregory Berns details the traits of creative, successful individuals in his book, Iconoclast. In Business Week, he says, "The fear of being excommunicated from the community is literally hardwired in us," Berns says. Instead of trying to eradicate the fear response, a more reasonable approach, says Berns, is to examine the situations that set it off and try to inhibit it. This simply means replacing negative emotions with positive ones. If someone consistently perceives public speaking as an unpleasant event, the brain will default to this interpretation, says Berns. So know your material. Be clear on key points that you want to get across, and be prepared to converse intelligently on the subject. What we call thinking on your feet is really about confidence, knowledge, and preparation, not about any particular skill set. Interact with your audience. Draw them into your presentation by asking leading questions and encouraging interaction. You'll instantly feel more comfortable, and so will your audience. Practice. The secret is practice, and lots of it. How do successful artists and athletes perfect their skills? They practice. One common technique is to practice in front of a mirror. If you can, practice in front of someone who is a supporter. Berns says that fear of public speaking can be effectively attenuated with practice. Programs like Toastmasters have proved time and time again that any fear, even public speaking, can be managed through practice. Once you acknowledge, reframe, and control your fear, you may still experience the anxiety, but you'll have the tools to manage it and make your presentations easier on yourself and on your audience. So here's some final tips before the event. Avoid caffeine. Bypass the coffee and the soda. Drink juice or water. Clear your mind. Try to think of other things. Keep your mind off your speech. This will calm your nerves. Visualize yourself being a success. Visualize a positive outcome and use deep breathing exercises to reduce your blood pressure, relieve stress, and build your confidence. During your speech, if you have a dry mouth, take a little sip of water. Are your knees knocking? Shift your weight from side to side and flex your knees just a little. If your hands are trembling, clasp your hands together. Is your voice quivering? Pause. Take a deep breath or two and smile. It's just amazing what a smile will do. Are you sweating? Forget it. Nobody sees that anyway. Reducing your fear and your anxiety is all about reducing your isolation and boosting your confidence. Think positively and be confident in yourself. Courage is recognizing your fear and doing the right thing anyway. Life shrinks or expands in proportion to one's courage. So in conclusion, the only way to conquer your fear of public speaking is to understand it, work at it, so get out there and let your voice be heard. Thank you and best of luck.